Welcome to Let's Talk, where we talk about plants and animals to observe them in their own environment, to see how they relate to their environment, and how we can use that in turn in our own relationship with others. Now, today we're going to be talking about crickets. Yes, crickets. Okay, so I didn't really get a lot of time to observe crickets, but the few times that I have noticed them, um, they're usually, let's say, in my backyard. The ones that I would mostly have a chance to observe were the smaller ones, not so much the big ones. Um, There are some unusual findings that I had with crickets. Um, I would find that they would, if you try to touch them, they would jump more towards you instead of away. And then this is just my observations. You might have had a different experience. But I noticed that they would not jump away from the direction that I would touch them in. They would jump more back towards me. Right? So I would always expect that when I try to touch a cricket, I always expected for them to jump back on me. So I'd always like touch and then jump out of the way because I would expect that they would jump back on me. So that's just an unusual finding that I noticed with crickets, that they tend to do that a lot. So they jump into the direction instead of jumping away from it. Alright. And next thing that I noticed, of course, they communicate a lot with each other. Those sounds that they make, um, those are communication cues with their other cricket friends. That's what they use to communicate. So, and if you notice, it they are on cue with timing in terms of how they chirp. I don't know if you noticed that, but it's almost like it has a pattern. It has a rhythm, the sound of how they chirp. For instance, if there are two crickets in the grass together, usually it's a pattern. One would make the sound, then the next one again, and then the other. Right? So it's almost like they're in sync. There's a pattern of how they are chirping to each other. And this is their way of communicating. And of course, as the sun sets and the sun is going down, that is when you would most likely hear crickets start chirping. You don't normally hear them making that sound. Well, not in all cases. No, not in all cases. Sometimes in a swamp area, you'd hear them in the daytime as well. But for me, in my backyard, I would mostly hear them when it's getting towards the late evening. That's when you would most likely hear them begin their chirping. So what you can learn from crickets is that they tend to be in sync with each other. I would say organized, right? So one chirps, then the next one chirps, then the first one chirps again, then the other one chirps. So they're more sort of organized, in sync with each other, and others could have a different opinion, which is fine. This forum is really just to express my observations and things that I have used through observation to use in my everyday life. And of course, they're good at jumping. So that's the next very good quality, is that they're good at jumping, right? Still haven't found out why they jump towards, I would say, danger, right? Instead of jumping away from it. Perhaps someone else might have done a research on that and have figured out why. So, okay, so this is my small observation on crickets. So hope you enjoy and feel free to comment. Until next time, bye!